All right. About 85% of my process, with every project I've done so far, is staring at this shit. Like, I drew a picture and I made a list. I took measurements. That's a shopping list. That's a picture. I laid out this rectangle is relevant. That's the size of the bin. I made that wire match it. I mean, I haven't touched the truck in an hour. It's just a lot of time staring, which I don't mind, but you just gotta budget that time of staring. Like, you think drill 4 holes, sure, that'll take you what, 10 minutes if you're being careful? Well, yeah, I drilled 4 holes, but I've been staring at all this stuff for the last 50 minutes. Like, where am I going to mount this? On my diagram, it's mounted on that wall, but am I going to drill a hole just to mount a relay? I don't know. As soon as you drill a hole, you expose yourself to corrosion and stuff, which I have a product for, but could I just adhesively mount this? So you're just staring at it, and then you're Googling stuff on your phone. I mean, thank God I'm not on the clock. Holy shit. This is what I should be... Wait, never mind. This is what I should be doing on the clock. Somebody else's clock, obviously. Anyway, we're having fun. Well, that was a lot of fun. Air compressor project. Backing plate that I'm using is a drill guide. So that's the compartment. And the drill fits, you know. I guess that counts as a win in reality, but Christ does it suck, because I'm way at the back. So I'm just like leveraging off the back of my Barbie-sized wrist. Got some nice shavings. I didn't want to have to vacuum this because I don't have a shop vacuum. But we got the holes in. Deburrer is on the menu. I gotta deburr all this. I used a wood deburrer for those, but it's not the right tool. So, yeah, I'm getting somewhere. We picked a spot, put it that way. All right, this is the hardware that comes with the compressor. Mild steel, electroplated, and mild steel black oxide. So this is from South Africa. I'm gonna treat her right. So we got new fasteners from our Home Depot. We went from metric M6 by 1 to quarter 20, but it fits in there just fine. So we're good there. We got stainless. We got a backing plate, and then we got washers and nylocks, and then this bad boy is getting a second life here in stainless. And this piece of stainless, shout out to John Klemonski, this came from the dump. Good man. He talked me into it. I was going to leave it, but he was right. On the healing bench this afternoon is the control harness for the air compressor. These spades snap into this connector. This connector is behind the dash, hooks into the dash side harness thing. But I need to extend this, so I bought 4-conductor wire, and we're splicing it in with these heat shrink jobbies. I googled how much current they should carry to trip this relay, and it's like 40 to 200 milliamps. So this is plenty. This is 22 gauge, and a nice round profile means it'll go through all the grommets nicely. This is the right size grommet for this wire, so I drilled this hole, but then to get back into the cab, there was already like a 22 mil hole So I'm going to take advantage of that hole, but obviously I got to increase the diameter of this wire somehow to get it to tighten up with this gland. So I don't know, that might just be electrical tape, you know, I'm a lineman, right? We'll get her done. All right, that's the first attempt at installation. All this wiring will be tucked up here. I'm waiting on Jeff to get me some adhesive backed cable tie mounts, little stickies. You stick them up here, some nice 3M glue on there, and that'll tidy the cabling up. But this is mounted, and the wires, you can see, come out these tidy glands. And I'm not claiming this one's watertight, but it is chafing proof. And I like shorter fasteners, but what are you gonna do? They're stainless. Now I just gotta run that. This little snake's gotta go along the frame, across the front, and then it's gotta go up into the cab right next to the steering column. That's where I've selected to run that. So we'll get some protection on that and then get it run. All right, we're under the fire truck. Been here for about 2 hours, just an insane amount of time. So I'm just running this wire, right? Just a little piece of wire. So it's protected by split loom the whole way back, and it's zip tied every, I don't know, less than every foot. There's one, there's another, and then it goes up, it runs along the rest of this looming, and it runs all the way to the toolbox, which you can see that is the hanging open door. It's right in front of the rear tire. So that's where it comes from. And now it's gone to here. And this little pass-through existed already in the fire truck. And so I don't want to drill anything else. So I'm just making the gland work. The gland size that it needs to be is this big boy, which obviously isn't designed for 5mm wire, so I just beefed up the wire with some lineman's secret weapon, and we'll get this snugged up into that hole, and then we'll have the control wire in the cab, which will be a nice phase of the operation complete. Well, that'll be part one. The wire's in the cab. It's been a banner day. I went back down, I looked at every piece of it again, put a couple more zip ties on it, called it good, shut the hood. So the wire's in. Now, part two will be getting switches in here. And so far I've been playing around with this little section of dash insert, which is pretty easy to get out, 2 screws. But to get behind this, I think I gotta pull the whole dash out. So I really only wanna do that the one time. So I'm thinking pretty hard about tracking down the other 2 switches. So one will be compressor on, one will be rear locker for someday, and then the other one will probably be a light bar. And I just don't want to have to get back in there. So when I figure out how to get this whole thing off, I want to get all that done at one time. So that's kind of why it's going to be a part 2. But the wire's in, the compressor's mounted over there, and yeah, we had a good time. All right, so we did some tidying up. I got a package of these double-sided zip tie mounts, and Wherever I use them, I also put the cable in split loom so nothing happens. The relay wants to be mounted on a bolt, but I don't want to, so I just use some double-sided tape, the good stuff. So that's tidy now. It's ready to go. It's got the filter on down here. That's the pressure switch, and that's the big 40 amp fuse. So that's ready to go. And now we gotta make the connections from here to the battery. So we'll do some more of the same. Oh yeah, and from that fuse through the wall to that battery is that's unfused, so I'm taking care of it best I can. That's split loom and solid tape, because that's a truck fire. Well, we're gonna try this the rightest way I know how. So I already took off the ground, so we might even be safe, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I'm cheating a little here. This large gauge is the power, as is this to the compressor, and this is a ground for the control system whole scheme, and I just jammed them both into the same connector. It'll bite it, and then I got a cheeky little heat shrink here to back everything up. So we're cheating already. Alright, battery terminal's made up. I'm out of reasonable size split loom for this, but when I get some more I will cover this. I left them long. I probably could have cut them shorter, because if this ever goes anywhere else, it'll be to the house battery for this whole camper rig. But anyways, it's made up, it's safe. That's not gonna get into nothing until I get the split loom on it. And the ground side's happy, and then this is happy. So we're good to go. Now it's up to the dash. Alright, the hiccups turn into hurdles. I was just gonna put the air compressor switch up here, but it's not the right size knockout. It's subtly different, so I'd have to modify it. And then I was thinking, well, if I have to modify it, let's keep looking. So I looked over here, and I thought I had to pull the dash off. Not quite true. I can reach around through the brake and clutch fluid access and pop the covers off. Again, still not the right size. See, we're trying to hit right here and here, but I can file that. So I think I'm gonna file one of them and see what the fit looks like, because this is actually enough space that I can make the connections on the back side without taking the dash out. Thank Jeebus. So we'll keep trying. Alright, we're up here in the cab. So I had to extend the control wire. Well, here's where it goes back to the OG. These get shoved into a plug, which matches the in-cab harness. And I'm going to try out a thing, which I'm not sure about. So these are all shrink wrap terminals, which Big Clyde just reviewed, and he said they're okay or so-so. And so now I'm gonna shrink wrap all these together, but like, is that heat gonna soak in here? I probably gotta do it carefully so I don't heat all this up, melt it again, and then, like, you know, yank on it and pull everything apart again. So probably just be careful, but I don't know, we're just having fun with stuff. You ever done like a lot of work and then thought back and thought to yourself, shit, I never did a bench test? Well, that's where we're at. Coming out of the ground here, there's a fitting there, coming into here. That's how the wiring harness gets into the cab. It's shoddily hooked up to the switch, and then I stripped it out here, and this is where it grabs accessory, and illumination. So these were the connections for the radio. I split them apart again and I jammed a third in. So we got accessory and illumination and switch, and then we'll go look at the compressor bay. Alright, this component here is a pressure switch. It's turns on at 70, turns off at 100. This manifold is extremely small, as you can tell, so I should be able to bleed it down pretty quick. I think it's cycling properly, and that's cool. I think the system is installed correctly. Obviously, I gotta work on the wire management, but the guts are there, and I love it. Hey, look, it's the fuse that goes in the radio. It goes right in the back of the radio. It's really hard to get to once you've installed it. So that's good. Alright, we tidied it up again. It looks good. That's how I want it to look. And that's thanks to small magnetic cable tie mounts by Mag Daddy. I think they're pretty cool. The price isn't free, but I don't know, maybe a 10-pack was like $6 or something. So, you know, you kind of got to want it, but I do. I want that look. Anyways, this side's done, and then I'll take you up to the cab. Alright, up in the cab, everything's back together, and this is the new addition. Let's see. Not you. Look at that. It even illuminates. I like that. So that's nice.